still remember the campaign went live at 4 a.m. We didn't sleep that night to make sure we were launching and everything was properly set up. At a certain point, we do a test at 4 a.m. because it was supposed to launch at 6 a.m. And like after a couple of minutes, we get the first sale. And so we are all in the same room and we say, oh, who tried to purchase? Was it you, Max, who's one of my co-founders? And he said, no, it was not me. And then we start looking at each other. So who purchased? And it was a person in France.
All right, this is another episode of the Form Your Own Pack podcast. We have our guest today, Matteo Franceschetti from Eightsleep. Did I say that right? I always get it backwards when I said it the other time. So.
Yeah. No, that's kind of right. You nailed it.
Great. Matteo, thank you for joining us. We also have a special interviewer today, which is Fiona Freed. And Fiona is our growth manager. Many of you know her that was booking. So Fiona, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, I'm going to turn it over to Fiona, and she's got some questions for Matteo, and we can talk to you from there about Eightsleep.
All right. So Matteo, for those of us who do not know, who is Matteo? And what is Eightsleep?
Yeah, I'm the CEO and co-founder of Eightsleep. It's a company I started a few years ago. At Eightsleep, we invented a technology that improves your sleep at night through thermoregulation. We change your body temperature. It can cool or warm you up. And you fall asleep faster, you get more deep sleep. And in the meanwhile, our technology also tracks everything about your health.
That sounds great. What was the motivation behind starting this?
Yeah, I started wondering why Elon Musk is taking me to Mars and I still spend a third of my life on a piece of dumb foam. And so I say, why there is no technology in a third of my life and what technology could do to improve my sleep performance. And that is how I came up with the original idea.
That's great. So what stage is Eightsleep at? And could you talk to us about how you found your first customers?
Yeah, we are at Series C, like Charlie stage. We have raised $160 million. We are on a 9 digits run rate. So the company is doing pretty well. We are growing really fast. First customer was an Indiegogo, was a crowdfunding campaign. And I still remember the campaign went live at 4 a.m. We didn't sleep that night to make sure we were launching and everything was properly set up. At a certain point, we do a test at 4 a.m. because it was supposed to launch at 6 a.m. And like after a couple of minutes, we get the first sale. And so we are all in the same room and we say, oh, who tried to purchase? Was it you, Max, who's one of my co-founders? And he said, no, it was not me. And then we start looking at each other. So who purchased? And it was a person in France. And that was our first customer.
That's a great story. So I see that you're a member of the summer 2015 Y Combinator cohort. Could you talk a little bit about how that experience was? And in general, what would you say has been the role of partnerships and community in achieving success?
For us, YC has been a game changer. I think first we built great relationships with other founders and with the partners there, from Michael Seibel to Anu to many others there, Jared Friedman. So that was, again, game changer. It was a game changer also for our mindset as founders. And the whole community of YC has been extremely helpful for us over the years. Then obviously there is YC Demo Day, and after YC Demo Day, we raised $6 million. In a matter of 48 hours, and that was our seed round. So I would say it has helped us across multiple dimensions.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible. So I'm just curious. So where is the product made?
The product is made in China. It's designed in the US and made in China, where we have a team of our own employees that they work there, and we have a bunch of different manufacturers.
Okay, interesting. That makes sense. There's a lot of obviously manufacturing hub of the world. So when you go in and you're designing, like, did you have a prior background in making mattresses, or this was an idea? And then how did you come about engineering this?
Yeah, so I didn't have any background in hardware, and we don't make the mattress. We really
Right.
just make the technology that goes on top of it.
Ah,
But that was probably our biggest challenge because none of the co-founders had any experience in hardware. So we really had to learn everything from scratch. And at the beginning, it has been painful, but then over time, it becomes a moat, right? Because it's so hard to build the hardware that once you have done it and you start finding scale, then it becomes really hard for other companies to copy you.
so as a customer, like what is the experience that someone is going to have with this?
Yeah, so you go on eightsleep.com, you can buy the pod cover. The cover is a cover that can retrofit any mattress, and it will do two main things for you. On one side, it will be able to heat and cool. So each side of the bed can have a different temperature. And through these temperatures, you can improve your sleep. So fall asleep faster, more deep sleep. At the same time, the cover is embedded with micro sensors that you cannot see or feel. And these sensors are able to track your heart rate, your respiration, and obviously your sleep. We just proved that we have 99% accuracy at monitoring your heart rate, so compared to a medical grade ECG, but you have to wear nothing or charge nothing. So it's the most seamless way to track your health and improve your sleep.
So I was just looking at your website and the product, and there's a unit that's next to the pod bed. Is that also next to the cover? Like what is that unit, and is there any sound, or what does someone experience when they get this?
Yeah, we call that the hub. At the end of the day, you're really sleeping on a computer. So you're transforming your dumb bed in a computer that can process all your biometrics and make changes in the bed for you to optimize your sleep. And so that is the equivalent of the computer tower. There is where all the intelligence is, plus obviously the cloud. It makes almost no noise. It's comparable to a humidifier, if you will, and sits next to the bed.
Okay, I feel like I need to get one of these because I like a lot of people, I've realized that when it gets hot, I'm waking up in the middle of the night. It's really kind of crazy. So I think I've become hip to this idea, but this is the first thing I think I've seen where there's like actually technology behind it and almost like an app. So I'm really interested in this. We'll have to do something about that.
So
There's one other thing I did want to ask you, which was we had talked before, and it sounds like you are part of a new wave of entrepreneurs there in Miami. Have you always been in Miami with the startup? Is that where you're originally from, or?
no, I'm Italian. I moved here 11 years ago, went to New York, then San Francisco, then China, then New York, and now Miami.
Wow.
I moved to Miami after COVID when we became a remote company. So I just moved here around 2 years ago, more or less. But I was one of the first movers. I was lucky enough. So before all the prices went crazy with
Right.
real estate. But now it's incredible. I mean, if you go to the known places in Miami, it's like being in Silicon Valley. You find tech entrepreneurs everywhere and crypto people as well.
I love it. That is exciting to hear. I was just in Miami, as I mentioned. So I plan on going back, and we're going to connect with you when I'm there next time. And I think we are doing our first live event tonight. So we're going to date this a little bit in Austin, but we plan on doing one of these kind of happy hour meetups in Miami. So maybe we can invite you out to that.
Absolutely.
Fiona, do you want to have some final questions and wrap things up?
Yeah, so I want to be respectful of your time, and I only have a few more questions. The first being, if you could give new founders one piece of advice, what would it be?
Keep going. There will be tough times. It's part of the game. It's like being an athlete, and you have a career in front of you. You can have an injury from time to time. You need to recover and get back on track. So just keep going.
Yeah, that's great advice and very true. How do people get in touch with you?
I'm pretty active on Twitter, and you can find my Twitter account on eightsleep.com. And yeah, if you ping me there, I will likely answer you.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll put that in the show notes. And so for the last question, who would you nominate for a future episode? We usually host guests like founders and investors of scalable ventures. So do you know anyone who you think might be a good guest for a future episode?
Yeah, I mean, one of those could be my friend Mark, who's the CEO and co-founder of Pope. I'm an investor in his company. They are doing great, and they are reinventing all the services that you can have for pets. So from insurance to a bunch of other services. So you just pay a monthly fee and you have all that you need for your pet in terms of coverage if anything happens.
Okay, Mark, was it? And Pope?
Yeah, he's the
Perfect.
CEO.
Well, Mark,
for that too.
well, Mark, you have been nominated. We will follow up. And Matteo, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time and we look forward to following your journey.
Perfect. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.